Hey everybody, I hope that everybody is doing great as usual. I just had a quick video I wanted to do, and along the lines of just share an idea, share a thought that I had. As far as um, one of the many ways that having like psychic abilities or the ability to communicate with people in the afterlife can be of use down here. Um, there's a lot of great people out there. There's just a ton, and some are well known, and some aren't. Some are local, some are more famous, or have TV shows, that sort of thing. But there's like a lot of people who um, share or experience or communicate this knowledge. And one of the main things I've noticed, which is absolutely great, of course, is people communicate, like share messages with those that loved ones, family, or friends in the afterlife. And I think that's a great way to give people faith in that sort of thing, and to help with healing and closure. I think that sort of thing is important. So I don't do anything like that personally. Like I'm still not 100% accurate yet with this sort of thing, and it's kind of it's a work in progress. It's a skill like anything else, and it's not what I do professionally or anything like that, but it's something that I'm developing and do want to share. Um, I think it's a great ability to be able to. Uh, it's a great skill to help others. In other words, share knowledge and that sort of thing. So that being said, the I think one of the best ways I think this can be utilized, and I haven't really seen this that much, and I think it would be fantastic, is to solve crime. Like I've seen some real interesting stories about a lot of psychics who try to do that. Some with success, some with information that's actually proven. Um, a lot of psychics that there's not too much out there if you look about people who directly help, and it kind of makes sense. It's if someone were to go to the authorities with certain information, they operate on evidence and things that they can move on and put together. And it's not like people can just call up, unfortunately, and just say. They do actually. I've seen that. A lot of police get a lot of tips from people um, that say that they can receive this sort of information from the afterlife. So it's valid and it's possible, and I don't think it's being utilized enough. I think there's a lot of psychics out there. Again, they're doing great. Some offer healing work or guidance in your personal life, or share messages, that sort of thing. And I think there's a lot of utility and a lot of value in that sort of thing. But if you can just imagine, um, especially in this day and age, okay, with like social media and the ability for people to communicate in different cities, states, countries immediately through platforms like this, or Twitter, Facebook, that sort of thing. Communication is immediate now, and you can just draw together large volumes, like large audiences of people, and pretty quickly. And that being said, like if you're able to locate either missing people, like people that are like here's a few ways to do that. Um, and this is what I'm trying to focus on as well, like specifically for me, um, things that can not necessarily involve the cops, because they are really busy, and again, they need information that is useful. But if you can leverage like social media to capture criminals that are on the run, um, or missing people, kidnap people where they need to be found right away, or where evidence, like unsolved cases where there's evidence somewhere, maybe a body is buried or a murder weapon, and all this information is available. It's all allowed, and all you have to do is ask and receive, and then get that information. So if you're able to locate, like I've been on the FBI website quite a bit, and I've been looking on there, and I've been getting, one of the things though that I'm struggling with personally is accuracy. So again, I think it's important to note, especially if you made your way to this channel or are interested in this sort of thing, this stuff is real, and that's one of the points of my channel, is to try and help validate this sort of thing and give a sense of credibility to it. Accuracy is tricky because, again, it is a skill set, and what you hear may be either misconstrued or incorrect, and I have videos that kind of speak on that too. That's why, like, for example, Sylvia Browne is a good example. So she's a psychic who tried to do this. Now, she was not entirely successful. So, and you can't be careless. She wasn't a fraud, but she was a little bit careless with, I believe anyways, processing and hearing information clearly, because some of the information she offered for both missing children and trying to solve cases was just simply wrong. I mean, completely wrong. But she had situations where she was right. And she had situations where she was just off as far as giving people medical advice. That's something that I really am not going to do personally, because the chances of hearing something incorrectly are, it's just possible. It's, unless you really know how to receive and hear what communicate clearly, medical advice and solving crime, I think, should be taken carefully and very seriously. With social media, so let's say there's a wanted criminal on the FBI list, and even if, I think this is a great idea, like what if like a few different psychics get together and start comparing notes and say, you know what, I've got this information, they say I've got this information, well, let's put it out there, make a video on it, and then, like on a channel like this or others, where there's a lot of subscribers or a lot of awareness of that sort of thing. Like if you can imagine, tens of hundreds of thousands of people just in that area kind of looking out for this criminal, they can be picked up, pretty quickly. So to leverage the power of social media and make sure that this information is used in a way that's practical, because law enforcement, they get so many tips as is, but to be able to use, the general population and, kind of build up an interest in this story, I think it's a great idea. And it's something I'm going to start working on. And I challenge others to do that too. I think it's a great idea. I've seen so many people out there that are so accurate with what they do. If they could use this ability, why not have people start focusing more on solving crime? Could you imagine if, as this thing builds up and more interest builds up in that, and things prove to be valid, and I'll guarantee right now it's not going to be perfect. It's not always going to be right. Because again, it is, it's not an easy skill to master, this sort of communication and receiving information, for me anyways. And it's kind of frustrating for me because sometimes I get pretty sure I'll hear something right. But then when I'm practicing or trying to validate later, I hear something different. So at a certain point, you just have to build up that confidence and faith, and then your accuracy will build up over time. But I just don't think it's not a 100%, true or false thing at all times. You just have to be really good at it and try to mitigate and minimize the ability to have the smallest margin of error possible. So I just want to put this out there. And again, because I've seen all kinds of great people, like in person and online and that sort of thing. I think there's a lot of great people out there, what they do, but I've never really seen anybody just focus on solving crime. I think it is just a great idea. So many cold cases. Again, it's a great way to leverage, media. Like if you're picking up information, you're trying to solve something, you live in California and the crime happened in like New York, you can leverage the power of social media and these sorts of platforms to communicate with people, and people can go check on their own. Another great thing to keep in mind too is, other than the moral value and the value to society and that sort of thing, to be able to assist with this kind of thing, there is also monetary reward for people too. So if you locate somebody like on the FBI, not all of them have a reward, but like the top 10, there's like $100,000 associated with some of them, or 50, I think, $200,000 associated with some of these criminals that are on the run. Oh, sorry. So there's different varying award amounts for these criminals that are on the run, and plus Crime Stoppers is a local. They're in a lot of cities, not every city, but it's like $1,000 per. You can submit it anonymously too, that sort of thing, that sort of tip. But we put this information out there, and people will, be able to start assisting. Then there's also that benefit as well. So it's like a win-win situation. And again, I'm really going to start, and I have been too. This is one of the. I really want to get better at this sort of thing and be careful with the sorts of things that I post. And I did have a few different videos. Some I took down because I want to be really careful about what I put out there. One video I felt pretty confident in sharing, which is on my FBI playlist. And it took me, as simple as it sounds, I just want to be able to ask a question and have a conversation, and it just doesn't happen that fluid for me sometimes yet. And it should be easy saying, okay, where's this person? Where are they located? And even if you can't hear like words and clearly that sort of thing, I use maps sometimes, and then I'll ask the question and say, well, is it in this country? Yes or no, yes or no. I'll try to go back and forth until I guarantee know what I'm hearing. So sometimes it takes a while to narrow it down using yes and no questions. Sometimes I'll hear the names of cities or states like loud and clear, but sometimes I can get conflicting information. So I try to make sure it is always accurate. But that one that I did post up there, I feel pretty good about. It was just, plus there was like evidence, and it was really questionable what I found and what I was led to. I felt pretty good about that being positive. There was something there as far as, where that particular wanted criminal happened to be deceased and buried in Northern California. But that being said, and I've had a few others. I've got a ton, actually. I've got a huge spreadsheet that I've gone through, and I just try to practice. And that being said, I will promise I'm going to continue to work on that. But I challenge and I welcome others, to do that as well. Why not take this to that level? And it is just such a great way to be able to leverage anybody out there who has these sorts of skills that are really good at it. Use social media. Encourage people to do that. Make money too, for yourselves or for those who help in that endeavor. Just a great way to use these sorts of abilities, I think. So that being said, I was going to mention too. There's just it can make such a marked difference, in just so many ways to be able to help validate this field of knowledge, spiritual abilities, but just to help. Law enforcement in the community and society to heal and move forward and find closure. So there are, from what I can tell, they're just criminals everywhere, unfortunately. And there's some that I've found on the FBI list that I'm trying to work on that are hiding in Mexico, from what I can understand. That are still alive and wanted by the law and should be brought to justice. So some here in the United States that are still alive and hiding out here, for example. So I'll start to put these videos out more and more as I feel more confident in what I'm hearing, and would love to compare notes with other people. Please send me information on email, or let me know in the comments if you would, if you're interested in helping with this sort of thing. I would love to just start to network with people like that and put out the idea in general. So Thank you so much for hearing that. It's just an idea I had, and I really wanted to share it. I think it's a great idea. And if you have any comments, of course, put them in. Feel free to do that, or email me, or let me know, or have any interest in participating in this sort of thing, or just to talk about it. Please let me know too, or get the word out there. And thank you for that, most definitely. So, well, thanks again for watching this, and I appreciate it. And again, I really hope everybody is doing great, especially this holiday season, and the year is coming to a close. I wish you a very happy New Year and holiday. I'm going to do some more videos too before the end of the year, but I really hope everyone has a great end of the year as well. Whatever you celebrate, and look forward to a new upcoming year. So thank you. If you like this, please subscribe. And you like the video or like the idea, definitely thumbs up. And I appreciate it. We'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much.